What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk to you about SoundHound. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down on what's really moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So SoundHound is down 2.37%, 1201 the low, 1258 the high, and very low volume. So 25.5 million shares being traded, 47.6 is the average. So SoundHound, even during the overnight, I noticed it did hit a high. I think it was around $13.10. So there was a lot of high expectations. You can see that as well during the pre-market, but unfortunately it just started to taper off, and it had nothing to do with actual shorts whatsoever, because at the time of doing this video, shorts are returning roughly around 38,000 shares. So they've been kind of quiet today in all honesty, but 30.46% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 111.12 million shares overall being shorted. The real culprit for today is this right here. And this is something I did bring up last video, and that was algorithmic trading. So just looking at the flow, there's a lot of smaller transactions. A lot of people always correlate that with retail, but that's kind of a incorrect information, because a lot of algos do a lot of smaller transactions, and yeah, looks like that. And most recently, midway throughout the day, some larger entities as well did kind of get out at the same time. So I'll go over the secondary market and also the dark pool in a second, but it looks like algos are really pushing down SoundHound, and I don't think it's SoundHound specific. It has to do more so with just the broader market. Tech stocks, AI stocks are all getting hit in one way or another, but today you kind of have inconsistent data. So you have a lot of people relatively hyped up over this. So initial jobless claims came in higher than the forecast, so 235 versus 225. So this immediately got people excited, because this does show more of a weakening labor market justifying a rate cut. And then unfortunately you did have good flash data. So composite came in at 55.4, manufacturing 53.3, and services 55.4. So very good stuff. Unfortunately, this does actually diminish the likelihood of a cut. And in fact, as crazy as it sounds, now there is a 26.5% likelihood for the September 17th meeting of no cut whatsoever. All of this on a side note is going to dramatically change tomorrow, because Powell is going to be speaking, and if he's going to be alluding to a cut, then we're going to price in a cut again. In my opinion, he's going to say it's still too early as per usual. So anticipate this 26 to probably jump to 40, most likely, in my own opinion, of course. So unfortunately, even though SoundHound didn't put out any news today, no SEC filings, it is definitely getting dragged down with a lot of other kind of speculative stocks. There was one thing that was just posted roughly around 15-16 minutes ago, and it looks like it was a interview. So good stuff. I haven't actually listened to it, so I'll play this near the end of the video, and then I'll give you kind of my thoughts on this. But 7 minutes and 2 seconds, and I think generally a lot of the interviews, they're not really saying anything new. So he's done numerous, so on, I think it was Yahoo and a couple others, Bloomberg, and it's kind of just the same thing. So hopefully they do state some good stuff in this. Aside from that, and short's not really doing all that much, you do have 4.21 million in calls, 1.5 in puts, 43% of all the options being done are bullish in nature. So despite the pullback, it looks as though that big money is starting to kind of buy some call options, clearly anticipating more upside in the foreseeable future. Aside from that though, from a bull's standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that $14 range. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub 12, and with us at 12.16 right now, there is definitely a lot more upside than down. These are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So very low, and technically of this, you only have, was it 5 transactions that are buys, one for 183, 123, 104, 364, and 309. Everything else is sells. So this is exactly why SoundHound is getting suppressed, and it had a very significant push lower, because you had this one transaction, 4.79 million. So one institution really wanted to get out of SoundHound. Aside from that, these are all the transactions occurring on the dark pool. So a little little bit more popular. This is where a lot of hedge funds as well as shorts like to hide a lot of their transactions. So similar nature, you do see a lot of bigger transactions, but nothing significant in my opinion. Right now with it at 12.13, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So today it did break below this R1, so that 12.66 is now going to be a resistance point. So I think on a technical standpoint, SoundHound is just breaking down. And as much as I always say, hey, you know what, it's shorts manipulation because of lower volume, shorts didn't really do all that much yesterday, nor did they and are they doing anything today. So as of right now, 11.26 is going to be that next strong support. I don't really see that being touched today, possibly tomorrow, depending on what Powell does say, because if he says and alludes to no cut, anticipate the market to freak the hell out. So right now, I think just SoundHound is breaking down on a technical standpoint, but I think it's just larger entities selling out. Today, there has been no new analyst ratings, so you can kind of see that right over here. On a side note, if you want all this information to be completely free, analyst ratings, forecast, ownership, everything under the sun, take a look at 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧 in the description below. But aside from that, there hasn't actually been any news as well. So it's just merely piggybacking off of the broader market. On the actual chart itself though, with it at 12.14, it is below the ALMA, so that does show that it wants to consolidate a little bit further. That 50-day moving average, which is a very big deal for SoundHound, is sitting at 11.62. So for whatever reason, if SoundHound does break below that, then anticipate a retest of kind of the August lows, regrettably. So it is unfortunate how SoundHound had some pretty kick-ass earnings, but didn't really last all too long in reality. But right now, just watch for that 50-day moving average. And then aside from that, you have the 200 at 11.43. So right now, SoundHound is just breaking down, unfortunately. So I wish things were a little bit different and things would go a little bit better and easier for SoundHound, but progress takes time. Innovative companies always get hated on significantly by Wall Street. So let me know your thoughts on SoundHound. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. So I'm just going to play this. So let me know your viewpoints, if there's any good tidbits from here that's new information, or if it's just more of the same kind of cut and paste type of thing. So hopefully everyone has a good rest of the day. One final thing before I play this, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals. Despite the bloodbath that's been happening the last couple of trading days, my day trades have been on point, so definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.
SoundHound AI is a small cap company making a lot of noise despite its size in the AI race. The voice AI company posting a Q2 earnings beat, with the company's leader calling it the strongest quarter ever. Joining me now to break down the report is that leader. 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧 is the CEO of SoundHound AI. Thanks a lot for being here, and congratulations on the big beat for the quarter.
Thank you for having me. We had a blowout quarter. It was our strongest quarter on record. Revenue is up more than 3 times. And every business unit delivers success for us. We had strong growth in AI for automotive, strong growth in AI for restaurants, AI for enterprises, and we had new deals. We had cross-sell across business units. We also made great progress on voice commerce, which is something we demonstrated earlier this year.
What went so well for you in the company in Q2?
You know, we just closed a lot of these on our pipeline. It was like better than expected. There's a lot of demand for AI. I think we are at an inflection point for AI adoption in enterprises. It used to be that a lot of companies were hesitant to adopt AI, or maybe they were looking at innovation budgets to experiment with things, but now there's a mandate for AI transformation for a lot of enterprises, and SoundHound is a great partner to help them through that transformation.
For any of our viewers who might be a bit unfamiliar with your core product, talk to me a bit about the history of the company, especially as a publicly traded company.
Yeah, SoundHound is a voice and conversational AI company. We specialize in speech recognition, natural language understanding. I was a co-founder, started in a dorm room at Stanford 20 years ago. We had this vision that computers will become better than humans in language understanding, and we wanted to be a part of that transformation. We spent 10 years in R&D, and we built our own technology. We have our own foundation model that beats the accuracy and speed of a lot of the other peers, including the big tech.
Yeah, you've been involved with this space now for quite some time, better part of several decades. I love talking with founders and co-founders in your position about learned lessons. Anything you wish you had learned earlier in your founder's journey, now that undoubtedly you've learned a lot after the many years of doing this?
Well, you need to have a passion for this. It's a really hard long journey, so you have to really enjoy it. If you ask for advice, I said, in the early days, a lot of people gave me advice, and I learned that you need to seek advice, but you need to only follow the advice that you understand and believe in yourself, and that really puts you on the right path.
What have recent strategic partnerships looked like? We talk a lot about the general mergers and acquisition space here on Wall Street. I'm sure these are a lot of conversations that you've had for your company. Expand on some of those deals that you've made even over the course of just the last year or two.
So we believe this is the time for us to do more. What got us here was focus. We focused on having the best conversational AI for enterprises and devices. And now we need to do more because every industry is adopting it. So a way to accelerate our path to new industries is through smart acquisitions and strategic partnerships.
What most excites you about where this technology is today?
Well, the vision we had 20 years ago has been achieved. We thought one day computers will be better than humans in language understanding. And until a few years ago, that wasn't the case. You talk to other humans having complex conversations, but when you talk to your assistants, maybe on your phone, on your devices, you kind of had to dumb yourself down to the level. You maybe ask very simple questions, set a timer, play music, how's the weather? But now you can actually ask more complicated questions to the AI than a human can understand.
I wonder the flip side of that question. What most overwhelms you about where the technology is today, if anything?
Well, first of all, the opportunity is so massive. The potential is unlimited. And just being able to capture the mind share and grab the enterprise's attention is something that is both exciting and overwhelming at times.
Yeah, absolutely. What is one reality of the space that your company is operating in, especially as the AI underlying technology is changing seemingly by the minute? One reality of the world that your company is in that you want more people to pay attention to?
One thing I've learned is that our customers, they don't want a vendor, they want a partner. Because a lot of businesses that have been focused on their own business for a long time, now they need to go through their AI transformation, and they don't want an API with its bunch of documentation and say, if somebody says good luck to them. They want a partner to sit with them, to listen to them, to help them innovate, to help them solve their problems, and we are really focusing on that. SoundHound is a partner of choice for a lot of enterprises that want to go through their AI transformation.
To take a bit of a step back and just to kind of pick your brain with regards to your long-running AI expertise, what do you make of the current arms race that we're seeing among the biggest players in the AI game? Again, knowing that the headlines are changing by the day. There's a new ChatGPT announcement just in the last 24 hours. It really feels like we're in an era where you wait 5 minutes and the AI-related headlines are going to shift just that much. How do you approach looking at the big picture of the technology evolution?
I think we are just at the beginning of it, and analogies are good in this case. So in the mobile era, there was a battle of operating systems. Mobile operating systems maybe lasted for 1 to 3 years. And then there was a decade or more of apps and apps and apps on these operating systems. And maybe right now you're seeing the battle of foundation models or the giants trying to have the bigger models. But the next phase is going to be applications of these AIs and how the businesses are transformed. And fortunately, SoundHound is a pioneer in that.
Yeah, the stock's got a really notable gap up here after your last quarterly earnings. Talk to me about expectations or any guidance that you and the company are projecting here for the upcoming quarter and maybe the rest of 2025.
Well, obviously the quarter Q2 was great, and we have increased our guidance for the year. We feel very confident about our trajectory, and we are also expecting to finish the year on an adjusted EBITDA positive on a go-forward basis.
All right, congratulations on the huge quarter. Thanks a lot for taking the time to stop by the New York Stock Exchange.